well, but you can go check out this thread for yourself to get a handle on things here. But this is just like 1 week, guys. This isn't like the previous months or previous year worth of work at the research part of the Ethereum Foundation here. This is just 1 week, and it's funny because when it comes to what the Ethereum Foundation does really well, because I know they get a lot of crap from a lot of people, especially over the last few months, for what they do poorly. But what they do really well is R&D. Like, their research department is world class. Like, it's bleeding edge research that really no other ecosystem can even hope to match at this point in time. And I know that's a point of criticism as well. People saying, well, Ethereum is too much in research land, not enough in development land. And I think there is some truth to that, where we tend to do a lot of research and look like years ahead, while sometimes forgetting to actually prioritize more short to medium term things as well on the development side of things. And I think that over the last couple of months, there's been a definite push to accelerate things on the development front and put a little less focus on research. But that doesn't mean that the research isn't important. It just means that we have to refocus priorities and coordinate around things that people would rather see prioritized. And this goes back to what I was saying on my previous episodes, where essentially I said that it is not a money issue, it's not a people issue with moving faster. It's just a coordination thing. It's like reprioritizing things, coordinating around things, and that's been happening across the board, especially over the last couple of months there. But if you still want to keep up with all the research happening, I'm hoping that Barnaby can make this like a weekly thread that he does. But there's so many different people you can follow on Twitter to keep up with Ethereum research. You can go to the ETH research forum. Pretty much everything gets posted there, and you can follow along with whatever topic you want. You know, the research, I guess, varies. It depends on the time frame you're looking at. Some of it is stuff that is happening in the next, few months. A lot of it is stuff happening in the longer term, like years down the line. But if you actually go back and look, it all starts in ETH research and then eventually gets delivered on the network. And there are certain things that will get delivered faster than others based on not only priorities, but how long it takes to do them. For example, something like blobs took longer than, than another EIP that might have taken a short amount of time. Increasing the gas limit isn't technically an EIP, but research needed to go into it to make sure that the network could handle increases in gas limits, right? The recent increase to 36 million. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on there in research land. But you can go check out this this Twitter thread. I'll link it in the YouTube description below for you to do so. Speaking of resources to check out, there are a lot of dashboards in the Ethereum ecosystem today. I've lost count of how many there are, and I've showed so many of them on the refuel over time. So it's only apt that Honey Abu here put together a great website called ethereumdashboards.com, which is basically a dashboard for dashboards, really. So you can go here and look, you scroll down, look how many dashboards there are, guys. It's actually insane. And this isn't just all the same kind of dashboards and different dashboards on the same website. Obviously, Dune Analytics has a lot of different dashboards for lots of different things, but this is various different dashboards from across the ecosystem. Yes, there'll be repeat information on them, but they display information in different ways. They cover different sorts of information as well, and there's also a category sort at the top, so you can go through and sort whatever category you want to actually pay attention to. So let's say you want some dashboards for staking. You simply click staking, and there you go. You've got 8 dashboards right there to check up on what's happening in Ethereum staking. There's a total of 83 dashboards right now. Honey Abu is definitely open to adding more if you suggest it to them, so you can contribute here. Actually, I believe this is on GitHub. Yes, you can just contribute your own dashboard if you want. You can go here, do a pull request, say, hey, I want to submit a dashboard to this website, and we can grow that from there, because I do believe there's probably more than 83 dashboards out there, but I think at this point Honey Abu has covered the majority of them, or at least the ones that I've used in the past and I've shown on the refuel a bunch of times there. But really, this should be bookmarked, and this should be a one-stop shop for any dashboards you want about Ethereum. There's everything here, like not just staking, there's blobs, there's censorship related, there's DeFi, of course, L2s, fees, explorers, so on and so forth. There's everything that you could want here pretty much. But if something is missing, as I said, you can submit a pull request and go check that out. And go add your dashboard to this website here. Now, one last thing I wanted to say on this before moving on, which I think is pretty important and falls into the wider discussions in the ecosystem today. There's obviously a lot of discussions around, I guess, real and sustainable growth of both the Ethereum ecosystem and other ecosystems. Like, what are we actually building here? Are we building something that is sustainable and that can continue to grow into the future and that will attract users and keep those users coming back? Or are we just building something short term? Because obviously a lot of what's happened over the last 12 months has been very short term, very extractive, very like, I guess like casino oriented with the meme coin stuff. And as I've said before, nothing wrong with that, but it became the main focus. And then of course the logical conclusion of that is everyone issues their own, I guess they're calling it a meme coin, but in reality it's just a giant grift or basically a scam. They extract money out and then that coin basically goes to zero essentially. And you can see this across so many different coins. They do this thing where they spike up and then they just go down. And yes, that's true for so many things in the ecosystem, but the problem with these things is that they're just so hollow. There's nothing to them at all. It's like, hey, it's a meme coin. It's like, well, it's not even that, because like what you're creating is not a meme. Like the original meme coin is Dogecoin. It's based on a meme, which is Doge, right? It's not based on a celebrity wanting to do their own coin because they're hoping to make some money off of it, right? It's not that at all. So these things aren't even meme coins. They're just tokens, right? They're things you can speculate on, and people do speculate on them, but pretty much all of them go to zero or just absolutely destroy people and extract money out of them. So obviously people have been questioning, okay, well, have we just built a casino here? Like, have we actually built anything better than that, or have we just built a casino? I think that the casino part of it has gained so much traction, obviously, because there is the hope of making money, and that is true of real life casinos as much as it is true of on-chain casinos. But in terms of like what's sustainable and what's I guess like something that we can take into the future, many years into the future, as I've mentioned before, it's really DeFi, right? And I know technically meme coins could fall under the DeFi umbrella because of the fact that you're trading meme coins on a decentralized exchange, but I'm talking broader DeFi here, right? I'm talking things that people can actually get long-term value out of, such as taking out a loan against their ETH collateral on Aave, for example, or stablecoin payments, or doing some, if you're wanting to take more risk on and you're a bit more sophisticated, you can do sophisticated financial positions such as options protocols, or you could do things like looping through LSTs and LRTs. Yes, a lot of it is still kind of speculative, but it's more long-term. It is not as extractive. It is definitely something that people do with the long-term in mind. And why this is relevant to these dashboards, or to this dashboard website, is that on here you can actually track that activity under the DeFi dashboards, right? You can go here, you can track what's been happening within Ethereum DeFi across the L2s, how they've been growing, and so on and so forth, to see if that growth is sustainable versus not here. And I think that this is going to be pretty important to keep track of going forward, because of the fact that it seems like over the last couple of months especially, meme coins have lost their allure, right? Like there's always a new meta in crypto. Meme coins was this cycle's meta, but it seems like they've lost their allure now, just like NFTs did, just like ICOs did. So what's like the next meta going to be? Is it going to be a resurgence of meme coins? Maybe one day, but like, I don't know. Once the speculative mania kind of dies off, it becomes harder and harder for it to come back, because everyone's convinced that it's dead, sort of thing. So for it to come back, it needs to be like a substantial change or a substantial sentiment change in things. Maybe it comes back because the whole market is bullish, I don't know, but I'm hoping that we can refocus things on more long-term sustainable stuff, especially with DeFi, but also beyond DeFi, not just DeFi here. But anyway, enough of me rambling about that. You can go check out this website for yourself. I'll link it in the YouTube description below for you to do so. Alright, so Everdread here has announced something called the Ether Guild today. So this is, he's soft announced this, so basically just teasing it for the first time. But the Ether Guild is going to be a community effort to elevate ETH, the money in service of Ethereum, the world computer. Because as you guys know, Ether's money is directly tied to Ethereum, the world computer. They are yin and yang. So essentially, the prototype is live today at etherguild.xyz, and you can go here and visit it for yourself. You can connect your wallet and everything if you want to help fund this effort, because it is, from my understanding, trying to be completely community funded and run here. You can see essentially the first quests that have been proposed here. So essentially, what you're doing is under the Ether Guild umbrella, you're completing quests. So it's basically a gamification, a way of gamifying it here. And in Everdread's tweet, he's also got the ETH Global Hackathon 3-minute pitch for Ether Guild. So you can watch this video here for just the 3-minute pitch of exactly what this is, as well as some more links to more information here in the Twitter thread. So not too much just yet, but I've been talking to Everdread about this for a little bit here. I kind of see what he's trying to do here with Ether Guild, and I really support what he's trying to do. He basically wants to have like an umbrella for the community to come and contribute to different things. You know, ETH as money, Ethereum as the world computer, you know, doing regen stuff, like funding public goods, essentially having a nice new community umbrella under, you know, to kind of cover all of that so that people can get involved with whatever they want to there. But I'm sure Everdread is going to be announcing more stuff as time goes on here. But if you want to go see what this is all about today, I should say, you can go watch the video and visit the website for yourself. All right, so we have a fresh bull post from Etherealize today. So this was basically quote tweeting Vitalik, basically thanking everyone for giving their kind support to him over the last few weeks, because he's obviously come under a lot of heat as part of the Ethereum Foundation coming under a lot of heat, obviously with all the leadership stuff and just people personally attacking Vitalik and blaming him for everything. I don't know how he does it, honestly. Like, I don't know how he handles it. Like, it's just crazy the amount of hate he gets for simply, like, not doing what people think he should be doing, when it's like, okay, well, Vitalik can take that in as an input, but ultimately, like, he needs to make his own decisions, and they ultimately affect a lot of people around him. So he can't just, like, cave into the Twitter mob every day. Like, he needs to think about this. It's not exactly things that can be just changed overnight, right? So for that, he cops a lot of heat. You know, and he obviously has a good support network around him, which is great to see. But Etherealize quote tweeted this and said, you know, we're stepping outside of the polarity of crypto Twitter. The Ethereum economy right now is thriving, and you can see that the Ethereum economy, which is the ETH L1 plus the L2 ecosystem, secures the most tokenized assets, such as stablecoins and other assets here. And I've shown this before on the refill. You can see here that second place is Tron, which is just mostly stablecoins today. So it's not, you know, and I mean, it's like, what, 1/3 of Ethereum today. And then next is Solana, which is, what is it, like maybe 10-20%? Not even. I can't really eye this because the numbers on the axis aren't labeled there, but it's a very, very small portion. It might be 5 to 10% or something like that. So Ethereum absolutely dominates tokenization, which is, I think, going to be like one of the big waves over the next few years from the TradFi institutional side of things. And they're definitely eyeing Ethereum for this over other chains. They are deploying things to other chains, but I think there's been a huge focus on Ethereum. And I think from what I've heard from a few people now is that the institutions are definitely very excited about and interested in L2s, like having their own L2s and building within the L2s, because as I mentioned the other day, it gives them more control over things because of the fact that they need that for compliance reasons, for regulatory reasons, and so on and so forth. And then Etherealize hit on the popular belief that L2s are parasitic, and he says here, the account says here, L2s are profitable business models which institutions require while being secured by Ethereum and accruing value to ETH at scale. This is actually a topic that I should spend a few minutes on here, because this is something that I see a lot of people talking about on crypto Twitter, in the Daily Way Discord channel, about the fact that L2s are parasitic to L1, especially because their profit margins are so high. You might have seen a tweet rolling around that basis profit margin is like 90%. That is, any money they make, they keep 90% of and only pay about 10% to Ethereum L1 in proof costs and data costs. And people are saying, well, that's ridiculous. You know, Ethereum L1 is getting shafted here. You know, they should be charging more for that. I'm going to say I don't necessarily disagree with that. I do think that in terms of like how blobs are priced today, I think they could be priced better. I have discussed the notion of wanting, like, the core developers and researchers wanting to add like a minimum blob fee in the past. I have discussed things like blobs accruing more value over time as we scale them up and more blobs are bought, things like that. But it's not something that can happen overnight. It's something that requires deep research to see what the best economics are around this. It's something that also requires understanding that if you charge too much for blobs, and if you charge rollups too much for blobs, they do have the option of switching off to Alt DA, which is another thing that essentially, if they go to Alt DA, what's to entice them to come back to blobs? And there is orthogonal research on that with based and native rollups, because you do need to be part of the Ethereum unified settlement layer in order to benefit from all of that. So there is